Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Ex-player gives Cowboys harsh warning as team in trouble with NFL draft nearing. It's been well documented, of course, just how poorly this offseason has gone for the Dallas Cowboys. The team has been unwilling, actually, to retain its own free agents, has hardly gone out and added other free agents and has not yet found a way to re-sign the 3 star players who need new deals. It is only April, and we're still more than a week from the start of the NFL draft. But in some quarters, the sky is already falling for Dallas. One of those quarters happens to be ESPN headquarters, where former NFL veteran defensive back and longtime analyst Louis Riddick made some bold warnings for the Cowboys on Wednesday morning. Dallas could be in trouble, Riddick said on Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty, Evan Cohen and Michelle Smallman. There's still time. But now what has happened is their margin is like slim and none. They better nail the draft and they better knock it out the park. The Cowboys are in the midst of 3 tough negotiations on possible new contracts, with quarterback Dak Prescott, receiver CeeDee Lamb and edge rusher Micah Parsons all eligible for extensions. The talks with Prescott have gone nowhere, and both Lamb and Parsons are sitting out of voluntary workouts this week. That's the source of the Cowboys' inactivity. In a way, it's not a bad thing. Having players who need big new contracts means you've drafted well and developed the guys you picked into stars. Every team wants to be able to draft somebody and then when their contracts come up, retain them and pay them at market, above market, because that means you picked the right guy. CeeDee deserves his, Dak deserves his, Micah, I get it, Riddick said. But the problem is, the Cowboys of 2024 won't be better than the Cowboys of 2023 as they sit now. The fact is, your team as currently constructed, let's say at the end of last year, wasn't good enough, Riddick said. When you say you are all in, you know that everyone else is interpreting that as meaning you're doing whatever it takes to get over the hump. Not to just get there, but to get over it, because they're worse than they were last year. They're worse. They have one true starter on the offensive line and they don't really have a running game. Quite honestly, as they sit right now, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. No doubt, Dallas has spots to fill. Tyron Smith, the starting left tackle, is off to the Jets. Tyler Baiadas, the starting center, is also out, heading to Washington. Michael Gallup, the starting wide receiver, is gone. Tony Pollard, the starting running back, is in Tennessee. Starting defensive lineman Dorrance Armstrong will join Baiadas in Washington. Linebacker Leighton Vander Esch retired, and cornerback Stephon Gilmore is out as a free agent. That gives the Cowboys a very long to-do list in the upcoming draft. But things might not be as bad as they seem. Rico Dowdle can at least be half of a rushing attack at running back. The Cowboys have confidence in backup lineman T.J. Bass, as well as new center Brock Hoffman, and will get linebacker DeMarvion Overshown back after he missed his rookie season with knee surgery. The group went 12-5. It might be a bit dramatic to suggest they can't get back to that level, or near it. Riddick is down on their prospects, however. They're not going to win the division, they're not even going to come close to winning the division, he said. Dallas Cowboys land AFC superstar in blockbuster trade proposal that would give them league's #1 defense. The Dallas Cowboys are in desperate need of a splash to give hope to their fan base. Owner Jerry Jones has made it clear the Cowboys are going all in for 2024 and decided to retain Mike McCarthy for one more season to see if he can get the talented roster past the first round in the playoffs and possibly reach the Super Bowl expectations Jones expects. The problem? The Cowboys brass has only added 1 player in free agency, has lost several key starters on both sides of the ball and has yet to make moves to extend their 3 top star players, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. After a fantastic regular season where Dallas won the NFC East with a 12-5 record which gave them home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs, the Cowboys were dominated by a young, surging Green Bay Packers team. Suddenly one of the league's top defenses couldn't stop the run and allowed first-year starting QB Jordan Love to look like Patrick Mahomes, while Dak Prescott and the offense sputtered, which was rare for 2023. Because of his track record, Cowboys fans are accustomed to blaming Dak Prescott, who hasn't been able to get the hump in the postseason since taking over as the team's franchise QB. There was even a portion of the fan base who wanted the team to move on from Prescott and attempt to plug in Trey Lance, the former first-round selection who the 49ers traded a fortune to move up and select. Ultimately, Lance never worked out in San Francisco, but they got lucky hitting on Brock Purdy. Last season he was the third-string QB for the Dallas Cowboys. Prescott was in the discussion for NFL MVP this season and closed out arguably the best regular season of his career. The Cowboys entered the wild card round matchup as two-score favorites over the Green Bay Packers, who have a first-year starting QB and the youngest roster in the NFL. Prescott closed out the 2023 regular season ranked in the top 5 in several major categories for NFL QB. He came into Sunday's playoff matchup against the Green Bay Packers with 4,516 yards, third, 36 touchdowns, first, 9 interceptions and a QB rating of 72.5, second. Now, the Cowboys will enter 2024 with more pressure than ever, from head coach to Prescott, who is now playing on the final year of his contract. Beyond Dak Prescott and the explosive offense that averaged 389 yards and 30 points per game and finished with 77 touchdowns in the regular season, the Dallas Cowboys had a defense that finished the season ranked 5th in the NFL. Even with the departure of defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, there are still pieces in place to keep the Cowboys at the top of the league in defense. One recent trade proposal could propel that unit to new heights and recharge the fan base ahead of 2024. In a recent trade proposal from Total Pro Sports, the Cowboys land Chargers defensive end Joey Bosa in exchange for a bevy of draft picks. With Bosa restructuring his contract, the Chargers are in a good spot to maximize their return in a potential trade compared to just a few weeks ago. And there's one NFC contender that stands out as a landing spot for Bosa. That would be Jerry Jones' Dallas Cowboys, who have curiously been absent since the new league year began. The Cowboys owner and de facto GM has been heavily criticized for failing to make a big move despite previously stating that the team would go all in this offseason. Bosa's injury history and hefty salary means the Chargers can't realistically expect a first-round pick for the four-time Pro Bowler. However, they should be able to get a valuable day 2 pick in exchange for the 28-year-old. Total Pro Sports believes the Dallas Cowboys should offer the Chargers the number 87 pick in this year's draft plus a 2025 fourth-round pick for Joey Bosa, who would form arguably the league's best pass-rushing tandem alongside superstar Micah Parsons. At the end of the day 2 and 3 draft picks are really lottery tickets. The Cowboys can try their hand at finding an impact player in round 3, or they could do the Bolts a favor and take on Bosa's hefty salary while adding a superstar-level player to bolster their Super Bowl dreams. Bill Belichick would take Eagles, Giants job in 2025, Dallas Cowboys his best chance. Bill Belichick reportedly has a short list of team options for the 2025 coaching carousel. However, he doesn't appear to have much leverage for his next job search. An ESPN report by Don Van Natta Jr., Seth Wickersham, and Jeremy Fowler detailed Belichick's job search this winter. The New England Patriots and Belichick mutually parted ways this offseason following several frustrating years after Tom Brady left for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Belichick used up all of the grace afforded to him after winning 6 Super Bowls in 2 decades. Per the report, Belichick was stunned at how hard the job market was for him this offseason. It didn't help matters that Patriots owner Robert Kraft talked poorly behind Belichick's back to Atlanta Falcons owner Arthur Blank. Belichick wants to test the job market out for the 2025 season. He wants to coach in the NFC East. Belichick is believed to be biding his time until next January for openings on teams he has told Confidence he would be interested in coaching: the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants. A source who spoke with a longtime friend of Belichick said the friend wonders if the coach will have another opportunity. "I don't think Bill Belichick will ever be a head coach again in the National Football League," the friend said. "Unless it's for Jerry Jones." The Philadelphia Eagles are concerned about Belichick's future longevity in the sport. General manager Howie Roseman doesn't want to hire Belichick to coach for 2 more seasons and then restart the hiring process for 2027. One would assume the New York Giants would feel the same way. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Bill Belichick? Leave your opinion in the comments.